military, he looked ready for orders and breathed brutally through his nostrils. If you passed away, my life would be lifeless and grey. We still have silly things to marvel and deceit, plan the end of teleportation nerds, send them all to Jacksonville. You can't say that. He went on to live another 47 years. In classical offensive magic, all through fire is burning. He's a brilliant wizard. James took the weekend to get back to Arkspire and found Toadsburg picking small strawberries and being very uncomfortable with all the animals and people. I will finish my training, I won't forget about it and watch entertainment, it exiting my mind like excellence. You can have a lesson in the jewel rooms right now. Let's get rid of the sauna dwarves. Do you think anyone has ever been hit by the unholy strike, first, in the nuts and survived? Silencio por favor. Enterth jewel room. Elemental adapting absolution or elemental unit is a way to adapt to your elements, it's earth magic. I will cut you and insert an evergrowth curry seedling in your stomach, it is part of the curriculum. James got over the cut as quickly as his lunch. Focus on your resilience, eternal like the stars, cosmic, and grow into a sentinel thus. James and Toadsburg grew into an exoskeleton that looked like mahogany wood, like a smooth tree ant. His face was rund, gleaming, chest and shoulders sleek and fashionable. Faceless, expert and alien he was. Eternal seed of growing and growing through you are. Very resilient against ice, water, cold, accountants, earth, heat and air. Also this tree doesn't catch on fire. You will find you need less energy, water and oxygen and age slower like this. Practice with me. Once you get really good you can turn into a fire, blood, water or air elemental shortly, completely and absorb the element. In a year I will teach you regeneration. Trick your opponent into using a fire attack, turn into a swirling elemental, regrow your hand fiery. It will still be there when you earn more pH, finish the quantified dissolution. Live longer the more you exercise this, it isn't taxing just like being a thin sardine. This would drain your mana like regrowing a real hand, making you dizzy and focused on taking it easy, but I think you can handle it. Without complaining they soundlessly practiced until after one day he was going to go back to university. He saw someone getting backstabbed by a baguette and somehow steal multiple wallets at the same time. After backstabbing he broke his neck and kicked it away like a football. Let's eat some of this dwarven earthy food, ah no. It's on me, this dwarf was rich and behind on payments. Dwarven fine restaurants had exclusive bread and butters that were very comfortable eating and easy to eat continuously, carrot and a vegetable that only grew here, dwarven artichoke, into soup. Wine testing and wine pairing followed. James thought the wines were unimpressive for the cost, but fit the food well. Small birds and mashed potatoes main course, then it was crackers and cheese. This was something exceptional that they were sad it would eventually stop, so they agreed with the luxurious servitor, who had the most luxurious silver rings and bracelets in his dwarf beard. They bought another round of just crackers and cheese. That is a delicious yogurty blue cheese. Inspired by my boss's salary, said the dwarf. Rye is disgusting unless it has a cheese wedge on it. Ah no. Back at university James was learning alchemy. Something that interested him was to make bombs. Curious and productive like procuring a building. First idea, super poisonous and flammable gas bombs that cover all enemies, then he would protect himself in absolute unit and detonate. Stun bombs, he didn't alter his enemy's senses often, he thought strategically. After grinding and reading he figured out a custom way to make impact grenades, knocking people off like explosive trampolines. He called them blueberries. The book recommended making adamant silver bombs that addled mages' magical abilities, or poisoned dragon glass also works but can be cured with black gull if prepared. It said some asshole always is. Flash adamant bombs to blind. If the dragon can do magic, its intestines or half-giant liver can be used to make bombs that blinds you and instills fear for 10 minutes even if you did not look at it, like an error in your brain. Scarecrow he named this thus. He found half-giant's liver in a butcher shop, magical shop, and went home crafting bombs like a dirty inventor. James' genius went speedy as he built and put too many books and ingredients in cluttered space. Experiment, separate, combine, possibilities and theory, explosions and shockwaves, windows and coffee pots. He put on a tight white physics lab coat, black dragon leather gloves up to his elbows, onyx round safety glasses, also makes you look insane. James took a stove and turned into a chemical station. Glass blew a chemistry set he knew from chemistry and some own ideas for sizes. He tasted, coughed, tinkered and thought like a processor about mathematics. Sometimes his thinking was indistinguishable from a cyborg hitting the ones and zeros. Eventually he came across a functional bomb that blinded, instilled fear, chemically burned that could not be stopped with water, stunned and slowed your movement and reduced your resistance against elements. Or less combined bombs also. James realized at the same time slowing with water, ice magic and shooting with his plasma cannon would be a good combo. Classical or simple. Being a lone wolf thinker lets you pursue inventing and science freely. Motivated like there were enough people, and you spent enough time. The introverted intensity for introverts is just this, the speed they should work on long experiments. He showed his new potion to Arnaud. I call the potion gym sauce, he said like Sauce Master, no it's not steroids. Being 160 IQ makes you pursue inventing much longer than 140 IQ. The sun seemed like a morning ritual familiar as James peeked out of his dormitory sooty. He held a giant hand to his eyes as the sun covered half his vision. The air was so cold it was to isolate your feelings into getting weaker. Unreal gleaming sun on snow to weaken into fantasy. There was a deer with heart-shaped antlers together. It chewed on the tundra and wondered what the fuck was this human up doing. Maybe he could chew on his winter leather gear. James threw an explosive bomb. The deer flew like a ragdoll. God, I'm such a good hunter. We have heard you have good stuff, Kerr. And Red Orc said deep like a demon. Just a minute ago, we inspected you. Forget fighting orcs, pay the laws of Ahenger. I'm going to give you something to run away from, like a scientist. James. An orc came with polearm ready to dodge. James threw throwing axe after throwing axe, one railgun, but the orc dashed with speed technique. Flawlessly, he could have had no armor because he took no damage. James, like the undead, breathed a wide cone of frost, chilling the orc to an icicle, then shot his head off with the cannon. Run away hither, tactical run away, best criminal for himself. They scattered in 8 directions and would maybe tell their friends this was not an easy target in the future. What would James do when the cannon ran out of battery? Toss his robot arm and return to the medieval yet quite magical times. He needed to make a battery, and he would crank it manually. James swept inside. He needed zinc, copper, lithium. He dismantled things small and large and outfitted his robot arm on the outside. In addition, one large cranking arm like on an old car. Third good idea, he made a lithium overload battery larger than he would crank and try to charge with lightning magic. What could possibly go wrong? Chapter, Ahen.
Yeah, it was really cozy, I don't know.
There's room enough for 2. No, I didn't mean that, said Sam. I mean, if it's poisonous, or something that will show its badness quick, well, better me than you, Master, if you understand me. I do,
I'm just going to bed, I think.
I think we'll trust our luck together, Sam. Or our blessing. Still, be careful.